decision day in Georgia.
The balance of power in Congress all comes down to today.
This is history unfolding in Georgia right now.
Are you ready to show America that Georgia's a red state?
The entire country is looking at Georgia right now.
And back to school inside actual classrooms. Some districts are welcoming back students on campus, but is it too soon?
They go, huh? It was strange.
And another spike in unemployment fraud claims hitting people who didn't even apply for unemployment.
Criminals are leaving one system and attacking another.
Plus, a new way to track the COVID-19 vaccine here in Colorado.
And we begin tonight with Georgia, where the polls just closed. 2 U.S. Senate seats up for grabs with the Senate majority at stake.
And right now, we are waiting on the first batch of results in the Georgia runoff election to start coming in. Big night. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Ann Trujillo. In one race, Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler is facing Democrat Raphael Warnock. In the other race, Republican David Perdue fighting for re-election against Democrat Jon Ossoff. Republicans need to win just one race to hang on to the Senate majority. Democrats need to win both races for a 50-50 split. ABC reporter Zoreen Shah joins us now live from Georgia.
So, Zoreen, very early, but what do we know at this early hour?
Good evening, Ann and Shannon. It is very early. I mean, look, polls just closed seconds ago, but Georgia voters have been buzzing with anticipation. Over 3 million voters already voted early voting. That is 40% of registered voters. On Tuesday, Georgia voters going to the polls one more time in a pair of runoff elections that will decide which party controls the U.S. Senate and will determine the trajectory of Joe Biden's presidency.
It's pretty empowering knowing that, having a vote can really shape the rest of the year.
We're here to make a difference.
Incumbent Republican Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue and their Democratic challengers Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff making their final pleas to voters after none of the candidates achieved the required 50% threshold.
My name is on the ballot and the bus, but this is a collective effort.
Are you ready to show America that Georgia's a red state?
More than 3 million Georgians cast ballots in the early voting period, a record for a special election. Polls show both races as extremely tight. If both Democrats win, they will be tied with Republicans at 50 seats apiece, with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris being tiebreaker. These are 2 of the most expensive Senate races in American history, the 4 candidates spending over $500 million in ads since November 3rd and drawing big names to their state, including major celebrities. President-elect Biden campaigned here yesterday, and President Trump in his second trip to the state just last night. The president's visit coming as he continues to falsely claim he won and that there was widespread fraud in Georgia.
There's no way we lost Georgia. There's no way.
2 days after this phone call was leaked where he is heard pressuring Georgia's Secretary of State to change the results.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Some GOP leaders now fearing the repeated claims of voter fraud could suppress turnout.
We cannot trust any of these results.
Okay, so state officials have made some major changes since November's election. But look, there is still a very, very slim chance that we actually see final results tonight. It could take up to days. Reporting live from Atlanta, Zoreen Shah, Denver7 News. Shannon?
All right, good luck tonight. It's going to be a heck of a night. So once again, Georgia's Secretary of State says we should not expect a winner to be announced until tomorrow morning. And when those first batch of votes come in tonight, we will bring them to you right here and online on thedenverchannel.com.
All right, so we know it's a big night in Georgia. Tomorrow, a big day on Capitol Hill. Congress will be certifying the Electoral College votes for the presidential election. President-elect Joe Biden received 306 electoral votes, certifying his place as the next president of the U.S. But tomorrow's certification isn't going to be a smooth and easy process.
So that joint session of Congress to count the electoral votes is usually just ceremonial. But this year, few Republicans in the House and the Senate have said tomorrow they will object to the results showing Biden won, citing unproven allegations of fraud. If those objections do happen, the joint session is suspended, and then both houses convene in their own chambers where a vote is held. And for that objection to be sustained, it requires a simple majority in both chambers. Now, after that fails, the electoral vote counting resumes, and Joe Biden will be declared the winner.
The Electoral College votes will then fall in the hands of the President of the Senate. That's Vice President Mike Pence. The Vice President's role is largely ceremonial. He has no power to change the outcome, despite what President Trump may say. The president, however, is still tweeting today that Vice President Pence has the power to reject fraudulently chosen electors.
It's not true. And Colorado's Secretary of State worries about the effects the president's repeated falsehoods are going to have.
It is sad. It's worse than sad. It's just reprehensible that an American president would try to cheat when he clearly has lost.
Now, we will stay on top of all of this for you and bring you any breaking developments throughout the day on air. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and of course on our website, thedenverchannel.com. Getting kids back into the classroom. Today, 3 metro school districts kicked off their second semester with some students back in person. These are some pictures sent to us from Boulder Valley Schools, which welcome back elementary students. Both Douglas County and Littleton schools also brought back elementary students today. Older kids still learning online. In most other metro districts, they're also starting school this week with all students still in virtual learning. And is it still too early to welcome back students?
We are continuing our 360 conversation on this, reading your emails about sending kids back to the classrooms. So let's start with Lauren. Lauren doesn't think schools are ready. She says it's not time. This sounds like a COVID party, she says. And then Amanda writes, if you can ride shoulder to shoulder on an airplane, the children can go to school. So keep them coming. We want to hear from you. We read them all. Is it time for in-person learning, or should kids stay remote? Please email us, 360@thedenverchannel.com.
Today, we're getting a new glimpse of just how many vaccines have been given out here in Colorado. This new number, total vaccine providers. And this points out just how many places across Colorado have administered doses. Also, the state is getting more specific on how many vaccines have been given, and it's now being quantified as first doses received. Here's what we know. So far, just over 120,000 Coloradans have received a first dose. Second doses just started going out this week.
And if you have questions about the vaccine, when you can get it, well, the state's been directing everybody to a hotline, but people have been contacting us at Denver7 saying they either can't get through or they can't get a straight answer. So we're going to take a closer look at those issues for you tonight at 6 o'clock. In the meantime, keep those questions coming. You can email, once again, it's 360@thedenverchannel.com.
Today, Colorado officials are reporting yet another spike in unemployment fraud, except this time the criminals are attacking a different system.
And that could explain why so many viewers are reaching out to Denver7 to report they have received a Relia card in the mail, even though they're not unemployed.
Contact Denver7's Liz Gilardi continues our investigation.
The letter just said she needed to activate the card, and it said it was for Colorado unemployment.
Dave Reedy didn't know what to think when he saw a U.S. Bank Relia card with his mother's name on it. It's a card used to distribute unemployment benefits.
I go, huh? It was strange.
The card showed up in his mailbox recently, and here's the strange thing.
It was totally shocking that she would get something after she's dead, okay?
His mom, Pauline, passed away more than 2 years ago, but someone used her information to file an unemployment claim with the state of Colorado. Dave knew right away it was fraud for, well, obvious reasons.
I don't know if they knew my mom was dead or not, or how they did that.
Since December, the state of Colorado has seen a significant spike in reports of potential unemployment fraud. Officials say it's rampant, but they couldn't get specific about how many Coloradans may be impacted.
What's essentially happened is the criminals are leaving one system and attacking another system.
Criminals went from preying on pandemic unemployment assistance until CARES Act funding ran out. Then they started attacking the regular unemployment insurance program. People often find out they're a victim of fraud and potential identity theft when they receive a Relia card or even multiple cards.
We've received over 20, at least 20 of these envelopes so far.
Earlier this week, we talked with the owner of a Denver rental property after he received more than 20 cards. State officials say criminals are using real estate listings to file these fake claims, targeting anyone who might be the victim of a previous data breach, dead or alive.
I don't worry about it because she's dead, but I do worry about people who are living. The people who are living are paying a price.
Dave says he's just worried about others who now realize their identity has been stolen. Liz Gilardi, Denver7.
Getting back to movie theaters.
And even socially distant concerts here in Colorado.
Hey, we're still here, we're still alive, and we're gonna be alive when this is all over.
With easing restrictions, the arts are ready to rebound.
And breaking down his new role.
He recognized that it was in his best interests and in the best interests of the Denver Broncos.
The Broncos president and the head coach talk about Elway's transition.
I'm happy that John's happy about it.